but it has a similar process. So proxy. So we have a proxy web security solution. So this will be helping us to hide the original identity of the host. Suppose if you are a host and working for any organization or company, so the attacker could not trace out your original IP address. So what it does is it will hide your original identity. So in a way, it will be providing something else, replacing to the original. So the other based example would be an VPN, virtual private network. And yeah, let's understand or break through this in a very simple way, how the proxy works. Because what I'm also doing, like apart from the general discussion which I'm doing with you guys, I'm also trying to do, one second. Yeah, I'm also trying to do some R&D work, because I'm trying to decode as simple as possible so that it could be understood very easily even for the layman. So since you already know about this OSI layers, so generally this proxy works on layer 3, which is what, network layer, right? Networking layer. And I just wanted to ask you, like, what is this port number 80 and 443? Nice. Who said this? Very good. So last, I think 2 days before, Sai Teja had an interview. You ask him, I mean, how many questions were covering our regular classes? I think it went on about 45 minutes. Sai, you are there? Sai Tej. Sai Tej. Tell me your experience. How was the questions? So was this different from our regular classes which we are covering, or this is nowhere? Yeah, I was there in the call. See, they started with a very basic, like what is IP, classifications of the IP, basic switch and router, and like the port numbers, almost all the port numbers she asked 21, 22, 25. The way she was asking, like she was asking first the port number, and she wanted us to tell the for which port, for what it would be useful. So I was so happy, because that she has covered all the theoretical questions. There were, like last 10 or 15 minutes at that time, our order did not work, but I was on the call, but I could not able to help Sai Teja. But he felt that the importance of, like the theory what we are covering. So sometimes, like that might be happening, some situation could not able to help us, or probably at that point of time, these questions, these sessions which we are doing right now would definitely give you some understanding or some knowledge, or at least we could say one liner answers. Is nothing like you are sitting in the interview and you are not able to manage. I appreciate Saiteja that he has completed at least, no, I think he has covered the entire interview by on his own. 45 minutes he could able to engage the recruiter. Basically, I mean, she covered all the theoretical, practical session. I mean, even she asked related to some practical, like how do you perform the analysis, phishing analysis, she asked. So all these things. So That's the reason, don't neglect this sessions. Anyways, I'm trying to help you out with even providing the recordings which I was never done previously in last 3 years. That flexibility I'm giving, and still I'm still wondering, like, whenever I'm sharing the recordings with you and I see only 4 or 5 views. I don't know. I mean, it surprisingly, like, feels that you guys are not really uh, paying that attention, or like, you are not really serious about that topic. But you will understand the heat once you attend the interview. And when you're working in the organization, of course, unless and until you don't have this basic understanding of the concepts, then I'm telling you, it will be a hard time for you guys. So proxy, yeah, it scans the traffic only on port 80 and 80 443. So it means it works on the network layer, and HTTP and HTTPS. So these are the services for which proxy will be working on, and it is a layer 3 device. And also it has a antivirus module whenever the downloading files from the website is there, so it could able to scan. So it is trying to give a secure environment to your whatever the browsing activities are concerned, to your external to internal, internal to external. And also it will allows or blocks the websites. Now when it comes to the firewall, IPS and ITS, what they do is they have the ability to block the IP address, that means IP traffic. Here the web proxy has an ability to block the websites, that means direct. If you don't want to see, or if you don't want your employees to view the certain social media sites, like www.facebook.com, www.instagram, all these things can have a restriction with the help of proxy. So it will block the this websites, and unlikely to the IPS and IDS. What does the IPS and IDS do? IPS and IDS do the deep packet inspection of the traffic, where if there is any anomaly or suspicious requests are found, it will block automatically. So here in the web proxy also, if the content, if the website which is restricted, and if you don't want to see certain content which is related to some adultery kind of thing, or some kind of uh, 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 the countries which have been restricted. So if there is any request or some content which is going beyond the policy, and which is violating the company policies, the content can be blocked in the proxy server. Right, you understand the difference there. In the net firewall, it it has an ability to allow or disallow the traffic with respect to the IP addresses, and IPS IDS will do the blocking, or deep packet inspection of the request which are available in the inside the traffic. Here, this is directly, I mean, it is directly blocking the website, and it is also monitoring the content which is there in the website. And the moment it sees, like, the policy is violated, then it has an ability to block. Right. So, and it does natting, hiding the internal IP. That means it will hide the original IP, and it will replicate some XYZ IP to the others. So it has a web category which will have specifications related to classifications related to sports, education, search engine, adult related stuff. So with this kind of, like, like categorization, you could able to restrict the websites, and you as per your, if you are a network administrator in the company, and based on their policies and their terms and conditions, you could able to allow or disallow the users to browse certain websites or not. And the famous vendor who will be supporting, or like providing this proxy servers, are Forcepoint and F5 networks. Okay, a proxy server is a server. In simple terms, a computer system or an application that acts as an intermediate for request from client seeking resources from other servers. So I have an example for this. In the morning only I have classified. Let me know if you have any doubts on this, okay. So web proxy or web security proxy, let's understand in a simple manner. A web proxy acts as an intermediate between a user device and the internet. It serves as a gateway that facilitates requests and responses between the user and web server. Here is an example illustrating why proxies are used. Let's understand a scenario. Imagine you are at the school or at the workplace, and the organization has implemented a proxy server. That means in there, if you're working for a company or if you're in a school or college, your institution has a proxy, web proxy. So you wanted to access a website, let's say www.socialmedia.com. Now it could be any Instagram, or it could be anything of the famous social media sites. During your breaks you wanted to browse. So without a proxy, what happens? Your request would directly go from your device, that means it could be a laptop or a phone, to directly to that social media server, and response would come back directly to your device. So now imagine that if you are under the proxy server, that means your organization has installed a proxy server. Now what happens? User request. So you wanted to visit a www.socialmedia.com. Instead of connecting directly to the social media server, your request will be going first to the web proxy. Now proxy role, what it does? Proxy uh, uh, elevates or evaluates your request. It may checks if the website is allowed based on the organizational policies. That means whether as a user, whenever you are connecting to the office environment or institution environment internet service, then you will be under a secured environment and your activities are probably monitored. Probably monitored is something like, you are under the surveillance. So what happened? It is acting as a layer between your phone and between your browsing server. So whatever the request you are doing, it will first reach to the proxy, and proxy will check whether this request is being validated or allowed in the organization or not, and based on that policy check, it will allow and deny. Now, it also have a access control. Now, what is access control? If the website is allowed, the proxy forwards your request to the social media server. If the website is blocked, the proxy denies the request, preventing direct access. So access control is that's how controlled. And content filtering. The proxy can inspect the content coming from social media server. It might filters out malicious content, blocks ads, and enforce security policies. So it has a one of the filtering option where it could block the content with respect to the policy violations, and it will not allow any ads, and also it has an security policy which will be enforced by the company and it will follow. And and another one is in terms of anonymity security. So the web proxy can enhance user privacy by hiding your IP address from social media server. Now you are browsing social media site. Now that social media site will be having all your requests from the device if you are not using the proxy server. So if you are not using the proxy server, the your social media server will have all your IP address, which could able to track you. I mean, which could able to monitor you in future, or if you are compromised, or if your machine is compromised, then the attacker could log in to your IP address from anywhere. So to avoid that, we use the proxy. That means it will hide the original IP. Indirectly, it will give some bluffed IP, wherein like the attacker could not able to log into your original ID because it has a fake IP address. And it adds a layer of security by acting as a barrier between your device and external server. Why proxies are used for the web security? Which will do an access control. Organization can control and monitor access to websites, ensuring compliances with policies and content filtering. Proxies helps filter out malicious content, restrict access to inappropriate sites, and block harmful downloads. And also bandwidth control. Proxies can optimize bandwidth usage by catching frequently accessed content, reducing the load on the network. And anonymity and privacy. Users' IP addresses are hidden, providing a level of anonymity and enhancing the security. And security monitoring. Proxies enable monitoring and logging of web traffic, aiding in the detection of the security threats. So in summary, web proxies play a crucial role in enhancing web security by acting an intermediaries that control and secures the flow of internet traffic, protecting users and organizations from potential threats. So this is already covered. So it acts on port 80 and 443 and operating at layer 4 and above, and it ensures security with an antivirus module for file download facilities and website content control, perform natting for IP and consolement and all, and employs a web categorization like sports, education, and etc. So that's about the proxy. And it comes like we have two different types of proxies which are available. The one is forward proxy. If you look at the diagram, you will understand. So here is a file server and here is an internet. From the internet you are getting the like access where you could able to communicate, or like exchange of the data is happening. So between the file transfer server there is an internet and also a firewall, and there is a forward proxy. Now there are system 1, 2, 3, 4. That means each system is equipped with one of the IP addresses, and the forward proxy provides proxy servers to the client or the group of clients. Oftentimes, these clients belongs to a common internal network, like the one which is shown in the picture. And what happens in the reverse is it will have an impact on like outgoing traffic. Let's say you are the one person and you are communicating with the internet. So the in the outbound traffic, this will have a reverse proxy. Similar to this, the firewall we have, forward proxy we have. Here we have a firewall and a reverse proxy and file transfer server in the internal networks. So whenever you are trying to connect with a different websites, so it will have a complete control in the reverse proxies. So that's about the proxy and the firewalls. So far, if you see, both acts on a similar notation. The firewall has an ability to control the traffic with respect to the IP addresses, and wherein the proxy with respect to the websites. So it is a web security solution. Got it? Doubts? Yep. Yeah, they do have the use cases. Here we don't have, but this is more like I'll share you a few of the like use cases. So basically, whenever there is this works in with respect to the antivirus, right? So any malicious content downloaded, I mean, when this will alarm us or do the alerting when there is a download which has been coming from the any of the machine, or it could be mass downloadings, or some of the content which is being uploaded to a website. So we have some websites like where it will have an like if for example we have a I love.pdf or pdf converter. So what it helps is it basically converts your one of the file to a different file, PDF to Word document, Word to PDF, or image to Word, like that. So that website has an ability to upload the file. So whenever the uploading is being done for any of the websites, this proxy will send an alert to the SIM tool. So it will give the time of the upload, username, IP address, and type of the file, and file path from where it has been uploaded. Similar to that, it will also have an alerting feature of downloading, mass downloadings from the websites, or some ad related stuff. If it is getting downloaded, then the proxy will be giving an alerts. Got it? So by this time, I think you are getting an kind of clarity of your self introduction, right? Initial days I said, like, you just need to buttify all these things. But at this point of time, I think almost we have covered 70% of our theory session. So do you have anything, like, out of this context which is unclear? So at that time I said, like, you buttify, just buttify. Don't look at the what the tool is going to do, what is web server or web proxy tool could do, what an email security will do. But at this point of time you have something or the other points to specify, right? A one liner answer at least. Is it no? If it is silence, do I need to understand as if you don't know anything? See, that introduction and your network architecture, if you understand this entire diagram, that's more than enough. So from here the internet will come, from the router the internet will be distributed between the router to the end machines. These are the security solutions which we have. We have WAF, we have firewall, we have, like, IPS, DLP, switch, antivirus, again DLP, HIPS means IPS, and host firewall and encryptor. And to seek the support with respect to this security, you need to have Active Directory, DNS, DHCP, database, proxy, antivirus, SIM, applications, file server, extensor. Right? So I'm ending this